There's all kinds of information when it comes to essential oils on the internet. There's all kinds of companies promoting essential oils, and to the average person, they don't really have the knowledge on how to decide which type of oil to use, which is a good reference manufacturer, which is a good source. What is your advice to people having done this for the last 15 years? I'm sure you've seen all sorts of situations. Can you share some examples with us?
Absolutely. You know, the at the consumer level, we're just like opening up wide open to essential oils. I mean, I've watched this since 1999. You know, that's when I got turned on to essential oils by somebody who started selling them for a company, and it was completely new in 1999. But what I found was I loved how they worked, and I loved what they did, and I could see the potential. But what I didn't like was the lack of education and almost a here you can fix anything approach for healthcare concerns, when I didn't feel like I had any understanding of, wow, these are really powerful, but don't you need to know what to do with them? So that was my cue to, you know what, you really love this, go get some education. So that's when I went to school. I found it was the American College of Health Sciences that I went to, and absolutely had my mind blown open about how powerful they are, how effective they can be, and how little that you need to be effective with it. So for the consumer who's just starting out, I say, get educated. I don't want to diminish this, but you know, kind of like the Pinterest education in aromatherapy with lots of recipes and memes that people are seeing. Oh my gosh, here's an example where it doesn't go well. These things concern me. One day I saw a Facebook live post of a mom who is selling essential oils. And she had a video of her and her about a 1-year-old son, because he was very little and sitting in a high chair. And she said, honey, show me what you do for your stuffy nose. He had his own very small bottle of aromatherapy, an open bottle. It has a little dropper top on it. But he had his own bottle. He's under a year and a half old. Puts it in his finger and puts it up to his face to smell the oils. So he's self-applying at 1.5 years old, highly concentrated, 50 to 100 times more concentrated than the plant offers it. And that was how she was encouraging others to do it. See, they're so safe, they're so simple, even my 1.5-year-old can do it. And I'm going, stop! I use this in my classes as an example because it's a perfect example of what could go wrong here. First of all, choking hazard. Second of all, undiluted essential oils on a 1-year-old. Do you know what the strength is for a 1-year-old? 1 to 2% dilution. And here he's using them at 100%. He has them on his fingers. They're going to get in his eyes. That's just a really good example of what's happening, is that we all have really good intentions. We want to use natural products. But how do you know? So an example I give is, so Raina, if I said, you know, echinacea is really good for you, why don't you go get a couple bottles, and it's all natural and it's all good for you, and it's from a good company. So why don't you just take a bunch? But have I looked at you as a therapist and said, you know, do you even need this? Why would you take this? How does your body system work with it? How much do you need? Well, if it's all natural and good for you, can't you just take 10 or 20? But that's what's happening with essential oils. So somehow the message is getting out there that because they're all natural, go for it. Drink them, apply them, have your diffuser going, put them in your cleaning products. They're in supplements now. How much exposure is that person getting in one day? And how much do they really need to be effective? And over, I find people are, it's macro dosing. And I don't see any other modality, or think of homeopathy, think of acupuncture, think of herbology, think of functional medicine physician's approach with supplements. I'm tested somehow to see what my body system needs and how much. And then you do intelligent use. How long do you use it? Do you just use them indefinitely for the rest of your life now? No, because your body is going to adapt to them. And so there's so many variables. So it's a skilled therapy. And consumer use is great, but then limit your uses, know what you're doing, especially if you're using it on special populations. Like babies and little children require very low doses. Their systems are like little sponges and they metabolize. We always have dosage ranges depending on the person that you're using it on, right? So frail and elderly, or young children, or somebody in chemo, you don't want to play with their health. Again, remembering that they're 50 to 100 times more potent than, say, so if you're talking about lemon, it took 50 lemons to make a small bottle of essential oils. We don't eat 50 lemons at a time, right? But people can be dosing down that lemon in their water, undiluted, down their esophagus, into their stomach, because last time I checked, oil and water still don't mix. So you're absorbing the essential oils through your most absorbable tissues, your esophagus and your mouth. So it's how much are you getting? How much do you need? What's the long-term effect on that? So our role as skilled professionals in aromatherapy is safety. We do not want to see anybody be hurt, and there's no need to with essential oils because they are very safe. But I've seen horror stories. We have, when people get hurt with any modality, it makes the news, right? And we don't want to see this. We saw a daycare center on the news, I think it was in Ohio a year or two ago, well-intentioned preschool teacher wanted to diffuse an essential oil to help with germs and control the air quality and something fun that the kids would like, and she chose cinnamon to diffuse. Well, she didn't make the connection, but she was noticing that the children's pupils were dilating and the children were acting erratically and unusually. She thought maybe there was a carbon monoxide poisoning. She called 911, fire came out to check, and it was the diffuser. She was diffusing a completely inappropriate, it's one of our most unfriendly of the oils to use, is cinnamon. Her heart is good, her intentions are good, but she doesn't have any information about cinnamon to know that it was completely inappropriate for the mucous membranes of 2 and 3-year-olds. So we don't want to be making the news with adverse reactions. So it's safety, and it's get some education from somebody who is truly skilled in it and works with it and has education behind it. Because there's a lot of people that are selling oils and they're trying, but they haven't had that neutral education in them too. So it's really important to just get some basic education.
That's great, Jodi.